Hello and welcome to the weekly reading, and it's eclipse week. We've got the Aries eclipse, the first Aries eclipse in quite some time, about 9 years, in the last degree of Aries on Thursday. So the eclipse cycle is currently changing over from the Taurus Scorpio axis to the Aries Libra axis, and that means that this week we have an Aries one, and in 2 weeks we have a Scorpio one. Both of those are Mars ruled. So this is a fiery, inflammatory, feisty kind of eclipse season we're having. 6 months from now, we're going to have a Venusian season where we'll have a Libra eclipse and a Taurus eclipse, both ruled by Venus. So I don't know about you, but I am needing some strong grounding. And even though this is supposed to be the Christmas holiday peace blend, I am using this a lot right now. It's very tree and so therefore very grounding and helping to support deep breathing. So pick a card between 1 and 4 and let's jump in. I do want to say that this week is mostly about this eclipse, but we also have Mercury in shadow and going retrograde next Monday. So let's jump in. Have you got your number? Here's the big picture. You'll see I put that holiday peace grounding blend right above that beautiful page of Pentacles, which is agreeing that we need to get grounded. And mostly it's an upright spread today, except for that 2 of Wands at the end. So in fact, we've got the 2 and the 3 of Wands, but the 3 of Wands anchors the week and really gets us started. And traditionally, this is a man, but it can be obviously a man or a woman. Judging from this deck, you can see we don't have to stick to gender traditions in terms of the traditional tarot. But the person standing there watching their ships heading out and conversely waiting for ships to come in. So this is a fire card that is like, don't rush. Now, bearing in mind we're having a fire moon eclipse. Aries is a fire sign. Mars is the ruler. Mars is fiery. Everything right now is fiery. And you can see we've got the Chariot. This year we're in the year of the Chariot. Chariot is fast and fiery. So there is a lot of kind of like, I need to keep going. The 3 of Wands just reminds us that we kind of need that sustainable fire. So we don't want to just burn ourselves right out. We want to just have a little bit of patience, recognize that in order to kind of really benefit from things, we need to have a little longevity. And sometimes that's not the Aries energy. Aries is a little bit like a match. Strike it, it burns quick and it burns away quick if you don't take it to something more sustainable, like a lot of kindling and a packed fireplace that you've already prepared. So the 3 of Wands is kind of suggesting that we must remember to keep that sustainability. And then, yes, the 7 of the Chariot, which is major arcana, is saying there is momentum, there is movement. Remember that this has the white and the black horse, the shadow and the light, the day and the night, the yin and the yang, name it whatever you will. It's bringing in the polarities. Eclipses bring in a strong polarity. And at the moment, between Mars, he's usually more of a tricky chap than Venus is thought to be. So this whole eclipse season is intense. And it's only going to be balanced out in 6 months when we have the Venusian. So it's almost like we're being pushed into the harder class first. We've jumped into the tough work and we will be rewarded, I'm hoping, in the Venus eclipse cycle. So yes, there's movement and momentum. The balance may feel a little out and you just need to come back into that 3 of Wands and go, okay, how do I breathe and get sustainable again? And that's mirrored by the Page of Pentacles, who is a young earth energy, reminding you that for a sapling to kind of get big and strong, you need to take some time. It doesn't happen overnight. Trees don't become great, wise giants overnight. It takes time, and you have to keep pushing down into your roots, nourishing your roots, feeding your roots, deepening your roots, looking at where you can support yourself, rest on your own skeleton, rest on your own spine, and also who you can lean into. Because if you think of trees in a forest, They really do that. If one of them is sick, they get supported by the others. The root system underneath is like a beautiful network of support. And Aries is a very fiery and independent energy. If you have much Aries in your chart, you will recognize that part of you. And remember, you are so many different moving parts all the time. But the fiery, independent part of you might be in a state of desperately trying to become more independent and not wanting to lean into support. Or you may find yourself the other way where you're leaning into so much support you need to desperately find that fiery independence. Either way, I feel like there is an opportunity to redress the balance here with a lot of momentum, but also in order for that to be sustainable, we need to take some time. We need to breathe. We need to stay in our creative selves as well. So we can't just be pure productivity. We also need to be rest, creativity, play, and all of those good things, because that brings us to the Two of Wands. Now, traditionally, and I've actually taken these out of the deck to show you. Okay, so traditionally, the Two of Wands is a kind of a merchant standing, looking out to sea and wondering where should he send his ships, which way does profit lie, does building lie. And then the Three of Wands next to that. Okay, so that's how this Three of Wands looks, and that's how this Two of Wands looks. The Three of Wands is, as you can see, the ships are sailing off, and it's like the merchant made the decision, and now he has to watch and wait. He's decided to send his ships off in this direction. He's hoping that this is going to be a benefic choice for him, but there's nothing he can do to speed the process. He can't make the winds blow faster. He has to be patient, allow his ships to go and do their thing. He's done the work. He's made the decision. He's put the stuff into the ships to go and be sold somewhere in distant lands. That's what he can do. Now he has to wait and see. And that's very strongly sort of now we're going back to making more decisions with the two in this card. So we started at this like, okay, I need to watch and wait. I need to trust that I've done the work and that the benefits are going to show up for me. And then we end with, where else do I go exploring? What is my next adventure? What is my next, as a merchant, what is my next big thing? What do I think will bring me something beneficial? And we're asking this in the eclipse week, where we're actually looking at what might, with Mars, we're saying, well, what might cause a problem? We have the opportunity to say, this is what didn't work when I last stood there watching my ships go out to sea. This is what didn't work. And this is why I think it didn't work. So let me try again. So this week is also offering us, but we might feel, because this card is upside down, we might feel a little fear come up, a little anxiety, a little reticence due to what happened before. So this is going to be the trick this week, is how do I maintain my independence now when I've lost it in the past because of X, Y, and Z? Or how do I learn to ask for help when I've never been very good at it and when I did X, Y, and Z happened? So I feel like that theme of the independence, where you are too independent that it actually becomes self-sacrificing, or where you can't find your independence that it actually becomes self-sacrificing, either extreme. And anywhere on the spectrum of that is a space that you really need to be looking at this week with this Aries moon. And of course, because we are in the Mercury shadow, and because the whole week is the last week of Mercury shadow, and literally on Monday Mercury will go retrograde in the sign of Taurus, which is also where Uranus is. So there's a lot of like changing how we think, changing how we narrate our lives. That is kind of in the works. It's really important that you take a little bit of time to accept that things may come out wrong at first. When you speak or when you write or anything like that, it may come out wrong. In order for you to recognize that that didn't work, and that's not what I meant, or hang on, that doesn't fit me anymore. That's what I used to say. That's what I used to think. But I'm starting to wonder if maybe that doesn't serve me. And again, you can come to the whole independent versus codependent kind of argument. That's a very Aries Libra axis thing, independence with Aries, codependence with Libra. And Libra doesn't have to be codependent, it can also be interdependent. So when you get the two working well, then it's interdependent, because we can be overly independent. There is such a thing. And we also can be completely codependent. There's such a thing. How do we balance that out? And again, because it is Mars eclipse season and we're waiting for 6 months, and we've got this fast moving chariot who's going to predominantly show us the sort of shadow aspects of this, I think it's a good opportunity for us to look at, almost be editing more. So what didn't work? Why didn't it work? Why was I to this or not enough that? Okay, I hope that makes sense, and I wish you a very lucky and blessed eclipse season where you learn all the lessons that are needed and you come out the other side ready for the next adventure, so that you can take that Two of Wands, turn it around and say, I'm ready to chart another course. Some places it may be similar and some places it will be different. Thank you for watching, and remember to get in touch if you're looking for private support.